Welcome to Dad's Unfiltered. We're two old friends navigating our way through midlife and fatherhood, striving to flip the script about being a father as well as being a man, all with the goal of helping other men do the same.
Dad's Unfiltered.
Welcome back, guys. It's been a long while since Dad's Unfiltered has hit the proverbial airwaves.
Indeed.
Or interwebs. Yeah, it's been a bit. So welcome back to Dad's Unfiltered. If you're watching the video, which I think we have, I have a backdrop. It's not even green screen. It's not AI. It is a physical prop, just like they used to do in the movies when we were kids. Remember that, Chris? When they would like make miniatures of things?
I do.
Yeah.
I just watched a video recently about the 78 Superman, how they made Clark race a train with analog technology. But yeah, see, I got mine. I got my Dad's Unfiltered poster right behind me, and is it backwards to you?
It's blurry, so it doesn't matter.
Cool. Son of a bitch. Anyway. Yeah, I'm slowly but surely getting all my Superman stuff dressed in the background. So I actually have a nice. I mean, I know you have the backdrop, but I don't have such a thing. So I'm trying to fill out the behind me space with cool things.
I felt like I got it like cheap too. It was probably printed in some sweatshop. Because I've noticed that you can't do anything right. It's either made by AI or made by children in some foreign land. So either way, I'm fucked. But Kathy Lee Gifford would probably be proud because this was, I think, screen printed in some foreign country like Florida.
Jesus. Some foreign country like Florida. Yeah.
Those who've been there probably know what I'm talking about.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it is funny how... Ugh. Just... No, really. Never mind. It's just all the shit. I'm laughing because the amount of crap that Pete and I have been through over the last little bit. We were not MIA for no reason. You know, there's shit happening in both of our lives. But you know, as we try to relay to everyone listening, we're doing our best to pull this shit together. And as you know, we've done this. What? This is year 4, man.
It is, yeah. Although there'd be no online evidence to support that because we lapsed in paying our bill, and Buzzsprout was like, "Fuck you, we're taking it away."
Yeah. By the way, I did re-up that. So.
Oh. Yeah, no, but they still took away all of our back episodes. Like 3 years worth of fucking episodes are gone. Although I think I have them backed up on a hard drive somewhere, and that's the key is somewhere.
Well, yeah. The other thing is we now that I've re-upped our account. Yeah, it is what it is. We let it lapse because
other things happened. We stopped recording.
Stopped recording, and we, let's be honest, kind of forgot about it. And the payment lapsed, and they only keep your recordings if you're not paying them for 90 days. So we lost a huge chunk of what we already recorded. And I feel like I've sort of come to grips with that in the sense that it's like, okay, well, you know, a lot of those were our early attempts, and they were, some were good, some were bad and challenged, and the only regret I have about losing that stuff is the being able to see the progression of where we started and where we are,
Like our flight log. Captain's log, stat 8.
Yeah.
I think actually the last...
8.1.
Was the last episode that we did about the different Supermen? Was that the last thing that we did?
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, well. So that means the last episode we recorded was on Superman Day, or for Superman Day.
Yes.
That was... the fuck was that? It was in some month that began with a letter.
It was a number of weeks ago. Yeah. Hey, you with the head.
Yeah.
I could generally just describe everything that way. What is interesting, though, is despite losing a lot of material, I found myself surprisingly not all that bent out of shape about it.
Yeah,
I was bummed, but it was also like, yeah, kind of. I mean, because we, truth be told, as the name suggests, Dad's Unfiltered. We're trying to do this in a very transparent way, so that everyone can identify with what we're doing. But truth be told, and Pete just pointed this out to me the other day. I have a perfectionist streak in me. I have a lot of shit. You admit? I have a lot of shit that I try to do a certain way, and I realized that so much of my challenge with this podcast was feeling a need to show up in a certain way, feeling a need to be more of a, more of a presence, more of a, really trying hard to create a level of value for anyone who would come and listen.
Right.
And unfortunately, that also comes across, there's a little anxiety there. It's like, are we doing it right? And da-da-da-da. And I appreciate... See, this is why Pete is one of my oldest friends, because he can say this shit to me, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I don't take it as an insult. It's an acknowledgement. And
I also put up with your shit. That's really weird.
Yeah, well, I put up with yours, too, so...
Yeah, well...
I just don't bitch about it as much as you do, because I'm a
I don't
person.
really bitch about, it directly to you. It's more to others. I like to do it, when you're not looking.
Indeed.
Like, hey, what's
Makes
that over there?
Chris
Is such a pain in the ass. What?
What a fucking bitch.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I love you, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. No, but really, so in light of the Dad's Unfiltered moniker that we have so lovingly called our podcast,
you were inadvertently filtering yourself.
Yes. I'm acknowledging the fact that I was, I come from a performance background, and coming out to LA in order to dig into the industry and all that shit stuck with me. And what's so funny is, and truth be told, Pete and I were talking. Was it yesterday or the day before? It was either one or the other. And we were having a really good conversation about stuff just life stuff. And we both were like, fuck, man, we should have had this conversation on a podcast.
That was the day that I texted you because I wanted validation for the comic book wall that I created.
That's correct.
Like I sent you the picture 20 minutes ago. Why have you not given me
different coasts. Yeah, because we're on different coasts, obviously there's a 3-hour time lag. Yeah. And he texted me. He was like, Did you see? Did you see? Did you see? Come on, man, I need validation.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't text. I called. I just said, fuck it. I saw that you had turned...
No, I know. But you did text as well.
The wall had come down. When I saw that the notifications are no longer silenced, I'm like, okay, the gate is open. Here we go.
Yep.
Now flood him with text messages.
Yeah, because...
and then you see notifications are silenced. Like, shit.
Because of course, being 3 hours difference, noon to him is 9 a.m. to me, and especially on a weekend, that it's like
it works out fantastically.
Parent, so I don't
on the nights where I have shows and I have long drives home. Because he's like the only one that's awake, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, I need you to make sure I don't die." And keep me entertained.
I can honestly say too. I have this barrage of Pete voicemails, and I've actually saved some just for posterity. But I totally have
him later.
Yes, no, but it's one of those where it's like you'll call, and if I don't answer, you'll leave a voicemail like, "Yeah, I figured you wouldn't listen. I figured you wouldn't pick up, but I'm driving home, and if you want to call, it's fine." Like,
it's funny. There's sometimes I'll leave my voicemails in like my signature Eeyore tone. You know, that's okay. It'll just fall off again tomorrow. And then there's some that I'm I'm slightly unhinged, and then there's some where I'm normal. You never know what Pete you're going to get when you fucking listen to your voicemail.
But then sometimes you're just straight stoned Pete.
Yeah, well,
hey man,
I just would like to point out though, Chris, that the majority of that is like the baseline.
True enough.
The other ones are just layers upon the foundation that I have built.
Because as we all know, dear listeners, Pete is almost always stoned.
Almost always.
Almost always.
Probably right now, too.
Probably.
So, the last episode that we talked about was Superman. We talked about our favorite Supermen. And since that time...
These guys right here. Yes.
And since that time, Supergirl came out.
It did.
And caused quite the
James
kerfuffle.
Gunn Supergirl in the new DCU universe.
Well, but James Gunn didn't direct it. I don't remember who the director was, and my microphone is right over my keyboard, so I can't type to search anything.
Oh,
I can't.
Yeah, no, I didn't even recognize the director's name when I saw it. In fact, I'm going to look it up right now. Actually, let's do it on the phone so I don't.
Yeah, I would use the phone, but
the screen.
I use my phone as the camera.
Yes. Well, here we go. Supergirl director. Here we go.
Craig
Gillespie. There it is.
I use my awkward typing.
I have no idea who Craig Gillespie or what Craig Gillespie has done.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure myself. Well, we can look it up. I don't think he did.
Oh, he's Australian.
Oh, fantastic, mate.
Ooh.
All right.
All right. So he did. Hold on. Before we go into this, he did Supergirl. He did Cruella in 2021 with Emma Stone.
What's her face? Yeah.
He did I, Tonya with Margot Robbie, and he did Lars in The Real Girl. I thought that was a great movie.
And he did the remake of Fright Night. It looks like.
Yeah, Fright Night, and he did The Finest Hours with Chris Pine. So he's done some stuff. That's interesting.
He also directed a Beyonce video, so that's that's good.
Well, pray continue, sir, because.
He did that. Did you watch that? The Pam and Tommy that Seth Rogen did about how they distributed, or how they got hold of the porn, of Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee back in the day. Did you ever see that back in the day?
Oh, I did. Yeah, of course. I was a horny. I was a horny 20-something. Of course, I watched.
I didn't think that Tommy Lee would have a bigger dick than he actually was. That was the weirdest thing. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I couldn't believe.
Because usually guys who brag about their dick size don't have that dick size, and he did.
No, it's not like he bragged about it, but he was just like, as a person, a total dick bag. So you figured that he would just have little dick energy, little dick, but no. Like
Valid.
He probably stepped on it a couple of times in that video. You know?
Doesn't that just sting like a bitch, huh?
In case you guys have never seen it, I would just like to say, at one point or another, you kind of feel bad for Pamela Anderson. You're just like, that poor girl.
It's true. There is such a thing as too big, fellas. There really is.
Right. I mean, not that we're speaking from experience. I'm still kind of trying to figure out where it might have gone.
Nope. I am in the Goldilocks zone. I am just right.
And that's what she keeps telling you. But yeah, no, we stepped out separately. I went to a fan showing of Supergirl the Wednesday before the release, so I was able to see it.
You got a little exclusive situation there, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm kind of assed out on Spider-Man, though. I was hoping to get that, but the whole fucking opening weekend is sold fucking tits out.
Boo.
And I live in kind of a shitty town with a shitty movie theater, and it's fucking all sold out.
It's fucking shitty?
Yet, you know, what's weird, though, is, you know, people are saying that superhero movies are dead. Like, it's not, like, their time has come. They're over. And yet, Spider-Man is, like, balls out.
Well, just like he... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Finish.
Oh, I was going to say, it's funny because I've recently got back into collecting comic books, and if there's anyone comic that's kind of comic recession-proof, it is fucking Spider-Man. He is like solid gold as far as, like, comic book characters.
That's what I was going to say, so I'm glad I stopped myself. But yes. Yeah, because you were the one who told me that, because you are getting back into comic collecting and you're starting to get the knowledge back and,
Trying.
you know, just, but point is, you're in it enough that you're relearning or learning some new stuff that, you know, the average person just doesn't know. But yeah, I do find it so interesting that Spider-Man specifically, and it's kind of like as just a side note, because I know we're talking about Supergirl, but as a side note, Spider-Man, the through line for Spider-Man has always been slightly skewed outside of everything else, right? Because technically it's a Marvel IP, but Sony has had the rights to it for years.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've made deals and all that stuff, especially with the Avengers and, you know, the whole Marvel situation. But the fact that it's a separate property and it has to be negotiated and all that, totally different.
It's, the same with Venom. I think even the Fantastic Four, there was something, and that's why their movies sucked. Because, I mean,
because everyone's trying to capitalize and.
Well, no, it's weird. It's like I can't say that they sucked, but it's like there's plenty of these comic movies. Yeah, but they hit the tree. You know, they
sure.
Some of them will do they'll hit you with nostalgia, like Deadpool and Wolverine. It was a good movie. I mean, obviously, it's similar in many ways to a porno where you're not paying attention to the plot, because it's really about the action, and you're really just getting your groove on.
Good analogy.
Right, but it's true. You know, you're just there for that. You know, everyone
let's just
came
fast forward
when
to the good parts.
when Hugh was in the fucking brown and tan finally, you know, like
oh yeah, and then he flashed all the fan his claws service. And the Hulk was in the reflection of the claws. Yeah, like everyone lost their shit with all that stuff. The whole montage of going to different universes and
it was great. But it definitely is not. You're not there for the plot shit at all.
No. Well, and that's the thing is like it was enough of a plot though that it held
carry
up.
it to a beginning and middle and an end.
But at the same time, like I'm not a big enough comic book fan to know. Like, was Xavier's sister a comic book?
I'm not
character?
entirely sure. I think in like a what if kind of situation. I've never really been a big Marvel guy, so Marvel's a little out of my spec. I've always been because I'm a Red Sox fan and I just love disappointment. I've always been a fan of DC. because they can never seem to get shit right on film. I don't understand it for years. Like they kept you got Chris Reeve, right? And beautiful,
dude,
absolutely stunning,
beautiful. Just and Richard Donner and I just came across some of his old shit in the sense of he had a lifetime achievement ceremony. I actually got to go to that.
Oh, nice.
I got to shake his hand. I got to say hi to him. I got to meet Richard Donner before he died, and the celebration of everything he did, and and that dude, and you can see in the behind the scenes stuff and all the Superman, the Superman box set where they give you every behind the scenes thing that's existed.
I got that. I no longer have a DVD player, but I got that box set.
I know, right? I know. Me too. But it's he just got it. He just really got it.
Understood, for sure.
Ever since then, people have been trying to figure out what he figured out. And I think James Gunn, what's interesting is that if what James Gunn figured out happened around the time of when Donner was doing it, it would be different. Because it's a different generation, a different time, but at the same time, and I tell me if you disagree, but I think James Gunn brought it back to the essence of the comic book character as a reflection of the current times. And Donner did the same thing.
Yes, they put him. They kept. I guess the simpler way is they knew their source material.
Yes,
they had a working knowledge. It wasn't just someone saying, "Yeah, I'm familiar with Hulk." Yeah, Bill Banner, you say? Yeah, I can direct that. That sort of thing.
Right.
Where it's like they just want the job. Where I feel like Donner really had a passion about him, I think, with movies and stuff. I mean, even though you hear the interviews and how miserable he was during Goonies, I mean, he still made such a great fucking movie.
Hell yeah.
Well,
the trouble with the Salkinds and all that. Yeah, it was he was in Shitsville, but he still pushed out that fucking movie.
And even, I got to say, even watching the Donner cut of Superman 2, I think is far superior.
Absolutely.
Than watching the one that they ended up releasing,
Well, yeah.
It's and this is where the Snyder guys will thank me. It's like watching the Justice League that was done by Whedon and
versus
then the Justice League
Snyder Justice League. Yeah, absolutely.
And I will give it that.
I agree.
It is a far
superior version. Absolutely.
What's weird though is after Whedon got called out and stuff for being a total dick, I never noticed how he subjectified women so much. Holy shit. The biggest glaring example of how terrible he could be to women was Firefly. The way that he treated whatever her name is, Deadpool's girlfriend.
No, I don't remember.
I can't think of her name.
Because I never watched Firefly. I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, for what it is, it's decent, but the dialogue and the way that Nathan's character talks to her is just so demeaning at times, and it's just terrible. And I'm like, wow, this guy's a prick. I'm afraid to go back and watch Buffy. I'll be fucking honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that's problematic as fuck.
Basic, foundational level misogyny just interwoven in shit. Is that what it is?
Marissa Barron, something or other?
Yeah, Marissa, I believe. Yeah,
something like that. But her character is, for all intensive purposes, a prostitute.
Right.
But the way that Nathan Fillion's character. Go ahead and try.
Wait a second.
This is why.
Yeah. Morena Baccarin or Baccarin?
Okay, yeah.
That's her name.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed... I'm hoping that with the animated series that they're doing, that they kind of correct that. I don't want them to overcorrect it, but I want them to make it, not so terrible at all.
Well, and I mean, and not for nothing, but I feel like regardless of the rest of the cast, which I don't know as well, obviously, because I still haven't seen that series, but Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion are like not only powerhouses in the industry, but like they really, in and of themselves, I feel like as people wouldn't allow that now. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so either. And honestly, you look back at all this stuff, and yeah, sure, it may have been like the norm, the way that people were.
Right.
Maybe it was just swept under. And I'm willing to bet that early on in their careers, like, it's like whatever people tell me to say, I'm going to say it, And I get it. I get it because it's a fucking cutthroat industry. And, we don't know some of the things that people have done to get or keep or do any kind of work. So I'm not slighting the actors at all for the written word that they've performed, And I guess, and especially with somebody like Joss Whedon who has such a prolific career, it would be probably, I'm sure, hard for a newer actor to be like, so I was thinking here on page 32, maybe,
Yeah. Yeah, it's always hard for the new people to come in and buck the current type of thing.
Yeah.
But something that I like about where we are now is just as far as people's willingness and ability to kind of push back against certain bullshit that was just, oh, well, what can you do? This is the industry. There's nothing we can do about it. Da-da-da-da-da. We just have to accept. Right. There feels like there's so much more pushback because societally things are less acceptable, And
it's weird, too. Another glaring example of that is when you go back and you watch the Justice League theatrical cut and then the Snyder cut, like how many gratuitous shots of Gal Gadot's ass are in the Whedon cut, and it's just weird, like the angles, like it's like that's really the way that you chose that, huh? Like, all right, and even I feel like, and I don't know if there's like any kind of element to it, but I also feel like Cyborg got slighted a little bit.
Oh, he totally did. Well, his entire backstory was removed. Like, and granted, I acknowledge the fact that the Snyder cut was like 5 fucking hours long.
Right. Well, they were trying to do way too much. Like, they should have had a separate Cyborg movie. Or, I honestly like the map that they have going on now, where it's some TV, some movies, and it all ties into one universe.
I will say though, I would not have been opposed to a Justice League Part 1 and a Justice League Part 2, similar to how Marvel did Infinity War and Endgame.
Right.
I think that would have worked out great. Like, and Snyder's cut and his take would have fit great into that because it was long enough that it was too long to sit through in the theater.
Yeah.
But plenty like watch party style, right? Like we'll watch this one and then we'll watch this one. And setting them up as 2 separate films that, to be continued would have been cool. Everyone would have hated it, but they would have loved to hate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, fuck yeah.
Fuck, I can't wait for the rest of it. Yeah. And
that's all that they seem to do now is hate everything, and it seems like everybody loves to do that shit.
There is that, for sure. But yeah, and it's... DC, unfortunately, has focused way more on... Simon Sinek said something a while ago. You know who Simon Sinek is? I've definitely talked about him on the podcast before. He's a author and a speaker. He's really big into understanding modern capitalism and like how business should be run.
Right.
Basically, like the infinite game and the finite game, right? And most companies are working through the finite game, where short-term profits that screw us over in the long term, right? So he's trying to bring things back to the way they used to be, where it was competitive and appropriate for everybody, not just the elites, right? But he had talked about this whole thing of before it was all profit based, it was what can we do to get people on board with what we're doing. And in other words, it wasn't all about money. It was like, how can we tell a great story so people pay for it and we make a lot of money? And what ended up happening is it just got rid of the how can people enjoy it, and it's now just how can we make a lot of money, right?
Right.
And
so they took that cue from Nolan's Batman of being more gritty and realistic, and for some of those characters it would work, like Batman,
right?
But then there's others that it would not,
right? And it's the irony I always find in these pursuits of profit is if you just focus on the material and giving people the best iteration, like no one's, there's always going to be people who aren't going to be happy with some version of it.
Oh, God. Don't
but
I
if
know
you
it.
can just provide a version of it that speaks to a portion of the fandom, then you're fine.
Right.
And if this is the problem in our capitalistic, like post frickin' what's the word?
I don't know. There's so many words to describe it.
Late stage capitalism. That's what it's called. Late stage capitalism, where it's all about money and not about any sort of value or substance that you're paying for, right? So it's how can we make our money back as quickly as possible versus how can we make our money back as quickly as possible by giving the fans something they'd be interested in and stretch that time out over a series of years so we can build something that people come along with.
Right.
Right. And of course, the issue is everyone trying to get everything right now. So it's fuck 10 years from now. How can we make the $2 billion investment that we just did?
Yeah.
How can we make that back this year? Yeah. And they're freaking shooting themselves in the feet, and it's it's like, okay, do you want to make that amount of money back? Or do you want to alienate the people who are going to pay you for that investment?
Right.
And just reap whatever you can get in the moment. And it's like, Jesus.
It's tough, though, with these comic book shit, because there is, like, a very clear division with a lot of DC fans. Like, it's like the North and the South. It's like Snyderverse and then everybody else. And and I've said it before. I never thought that the Snyderverse was terrible.
No, I never did either.
It's not my favorite interpretation of those characters.
I am a huge fan of reinterpretations of characters.
Yep.
Because I think there's something to be said about
it not being Dean Cain.
Oh God!
Sorry,
please
any
no.
chance I get to slight that guy?
Yeah, I know. Hold on a second. I have a little visitor here.
Yeah.
I am doing my podcast with Pete.
Because it didn't work yesterday.
And hey, I'm going to finish up doing this, and then we can hang out and play, okay?
Hey, Daddy.
Yes, baby.
I will be right back, and you can talk to me where I see it.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. I'll be right back. And you talk to Pete while I'm gone. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the intention.
Yes.
And as they walk away, you lock the door.
Shit. Yeah, no, and the big thing being, like, I swear, man, like, all the oh, you're back. What are you back about?
Oh, goody.
You want some cheese? Can you go ask your mom, please? And can you shut the door? Thank you very much.
I'd like to remind you that there's a whole ass other adult in this house.
Yes.
But I want to bother you because you're doing something.
Yes, because you're busy. Oh, God damn it. What was I saying? Snyder?
Yeah,
what was I saying?
Interpretations.
Oh,
You're a fan of
just
interpretations.
I'm a big fan of interpretations because I like the idea of exploring possibilities. Like
a
Superman,
what if series, like they do with Marvel.
Superman Red Sun. You know about that one, right?
Yeah.
How
Well, Flashpoint. What about the Flashpoint timeline? That's a whole different.
And it's the like the Red Sun is Superman. What if he landed in Russia instead of the United States?
Yep.
What type of superhero would he become? And I thought it was a fantastic.
Brightburn.
Or yes, that's fantastic. And that was never marketed as a Superman anything. It was a totally separate thing. But you knew.
Fucking knew.
Yeah. Yes.
And that was James Gunn too. He had a hand in that shit.
I actually didn't know that. Really?
Yeah. I think he like produced it or some shit.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So
and
good.
it's the idea. Like, I like departures from classic, not only characters but storylines. But I think you can stay there for a little while, but you still have to come back to the essence of the foundational character as a means of, like, because if you don't, then that character evolves and changes into those things and then becomes completely different. And I'm not saying that the evolution of, like, that shit happens all the time in history, how, certain ideas change and philosophies and things like that. But
right,
as long as the essence of how it originally came about stays the same, then you can always go back and revisit and look and say, okay, here's what was different and here's how it evolved and blah, blah, blah. But that was always the benefit of Superman, was he is not only an immigrant, he showed up, was taught all the best human values, and took his immigrant alien essence and overlaid the morality of his human teachers, right? So it's what would happen.
Right place, right time kind of deal.
Right, yeah. But and isn't that the point of speaking up against the fact that immigrants, there's nothing wrong with immigrants. Immigrants are just people trying to find a better life for themselves. That's all they are. And Superman being, and I love that aspect, actually, of the original creators of Superman, how they both Jewish men, sons of immigrants, who really wanted to kind of create something that allowed them to feel accepted in the society they were in. Like, what if we had this ability? And what if we showed up this way? And, so the reason Superman's been so ubiquitous is not because he has strength and heat vision and, he is the person he is despite the amount of power he has. The power he has not corrupted him because he was raised a certain way. And the whole point is, and obviously it started with America, and that was back in the day, but I love the fact that they evolved him to the world, right? He's not truth, justice, and the American way anymore. He's truth, justice, and what is it? I think it's some version of like Savior for All, or it's a better tomorrow. That's what it is. Truth, justice, and a better tomorrow is the slogan now, I think.
All right.
But again, he was a propaganda tool back in the day. To say that America's way of life was better than the Nazi way of life, and at the time, that's appropriate, right? Because fuck, man, anything's better than the Nazi way of life.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But point being, he has evolved with society, and I think kind of skewing toward our talking point with Supergirl, that's what happened now, where there's a new iteration of the character based on a comic. It's not like it's out of someone's ass somewhere. Like, this is canon in the comics, where, hey, you know what? This is a different take on the character. We're changing up the current iteration of Superman himself. So,
I'm looking to see what the new thing that he says is. I have the comic where they where they changed it. I just don't remember where it happened.
I believe it. Like, I'll say it again. I think it's truth, justice, and a better tomorrow instead of truth, justice, and the American way. I think that's what the change has been.
But yeah, so you were saying a different iteration.
Right, and it's not a better or worse one. It's just different. And it's unique in the scope of the character for Supergirl. Because Supergirl was always the, kind of naive, younger cousin, right? Who was almost like from a purity culture perspective, where she, granted, over the years they drew her in provocative ways, but in general, her demeanor and her style and her, like, how she came across she was the younger kind of protege of Clark, even though she was older originally, but then, depending on the iteration, she got stuck in a time warp, like her ship was knocked out of its trajectory, and she went somewhere else and then remained in suspended animation, finally made it to Earth, but by that point, Clark was already an adult, and he was Superman, so when she came out of the pod, he was her elder.
Yep.
So it was and that's the struggle. It's like, I'm older than you, but now you're older than me, and my mission doesn't exist anymore, and I don't know what to do, and who am I? And, those are legitimate questions for a deep, detailed character.
Exactly.
And I think the current iteration really takes that to another level in a good way. Where, and you said this to me, and I totally agree. The reason people have such an issue about... because the two biggest issues I hear about Supergirl are the villain sucked, and they should have cast a different actress for Supergirl.
Yeah, that's been...
The two major complaints that I've heard. And what's interesting is, number one, of course, anything drawn in comics is going to be the extreme physically, right? Mm-hmm. Supergirl in the comics, regardless of how she's drawn, even back in the frickin' 50s when... Actually, when did she first come out? Was it the 40s or the 50s?
It was in the 40s.
Do you remember?
I can't
40s?
find the passage in the thing, yeah.
But it's it's she could have been a freaking underwear model.
No,
and that's the point.
So I have her in the 60s. Hold on a second.
Yeah. Well, my point about the 60s is what would be considered tame to us now was very evocative in the 60s, Yeah, there you go.
That's it right there.
But that's the point, right? Of course, I'm sure this was a big deal in the 60s because she had short hair, and God forbid a woman have short hair. But like Millie Alcock, man, she's a shorter woman.
Yeah.
She's not the tall, lanky underwear model type. She's not traditionally attractive in the sense of like what the status quo of society says is attractive. I think she's gorgeous, but but that's the point. Is she's not the epitome of what the status quo says Supergirl should be, and that's why people have an issue with it. But I agree. I think, and I know you agree because we've had multiple conversations. She was not only a great Supergirl, but she did everything the character in that iteration required.
Yeah.
And she did it well.
Yeah. Yeah. She, I thought, so for me, I went in it with the expectation that this movie was just meant to bring her into the fold, to get us up to speed, if you will, because when was the last time she was on the silver screen? 1984? Helen Slater?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
right?
what did she do in the world of Superman to get where she is now? Exactly.
Right. And they've never really touched upon it. Carol Danvers, or whatever they called her in this TV show.
Supergirl series, yeah.
Yeah. She had a lot of the qualities of Supergirl. Like she was a brunette. Obviously, a lot of guys drooled over her kind of deal. And everyone still seems to think that she should have been the iteration on the movies. Everyone wanted Grant Gustin to be fucking the Flash.
Right.
It's a different iteration.
Right.
I think that...
And I thought Melissa Benoist did great, but it was different. This was a different iteration. Yeah.
And I felt like they stuck fairly well to the source material. I thought that Millie totally understood the assignment. And people bitching about the villain, it's weird because for the amount of people in the comic book realm of things should know that you never, ever get the ultimate baddie right away. Like, you got to level up to that shit. You know, and all Krem was to just progress the story along. It's something that moved it along while she took care of what was going on inside. Like, it progressed that story. Like, nobody knew, I'm sure, about her backstory because, honestly, the only backstory we've ever been browbeaten to death with has been fucking Clark's showing up on that fucking farm.
I know. You are so jaded for all the origin stories of Superman.
It drives me nuts.
But I will say, the thing that was, I think, necessary with this iteration, because of how Superman was. Like, Reeve's Superman, like, I will compare every Superman to Christopher Reeve.
Oh, yeah.
It's just what's going to happen. But the difference now, and I talked to you about this at some point, where Christopher Reeve's Superman is very distinctly Clark Kent and Superman. They are very, like, they are two separate people, and he plays it that way.
And you can totally tell.
Whereas, and you can totally tell. Yeah, like, and people say, well, how the hell would you not expect this person, like, they look exactly the same. It's like, yeah, but do you see how they act, how they hold their body, how they speak, how they, like, of course you would, like, you're blown away by this person who can do these amazing things. Why would you ever expect it to be this other person?
My difficult thing believing, honestly, was not that, like, no one got that Clark Kent was Superman because of glasses. How the fuck did Lois Lane win a Pulitzer Prize and she couldn't even spell? I mean, what the fuck?
That's pretty good, yeah.
The big question is, like, oh, how did a guy hide by changing the way his hair parted with glasses? And yet you're like,
how did Lois Lane get
all these
Pulitzer
awards
without being able to spell? That's such a better question for sure. So good.
How did she even get the job? What the fuck?
Yeah, no shit, right? But tenacity, Pete, tenacity.
Yeah.
But really the whole thing of James Gunn's Superman and how David Corenswet did the character, which I think he did a fantastic job, but it's not even close to the same as Christopher Reeve's Superman. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And
Christopher Reeve, though, like, someone posted online that who was an actor that you could say nailed a role that you could never see anybody else. And I've repeatedly answered that question with the same Christopher Reeve. Because
I agree.
Very many have tried, and there have been very good Supermans, and there have been some that have been decent Clark Kents. But never the twain shall meet in the same performance. It's the weirdest thing.
He was the best of both. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I would say, like, and even Corenswet, I think he's a better Superman than a Clark in the sense of, like...
Well, he didn't really get a whole lot of time as Clark, either.
No.
So...
But, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now because we're talking about Supergirl, but at the same time... just the fact that Corenswet's Superman is Clark. Reeve's Superman was Clark as the mask, Superman as the reality.
Right.
But I feel like Corenswet's Superman is Clark as the reality. He just puts on the suit when he uses his powers. And ironically enough... because we all love our conversations about Dean Cain, because fuck that guy. But he was the total opposite. He was, because he had that line in the show. Superman is what I can do. Clark is who I am.
Yeah.
He was Clark even as Superman.
I'd rather you use the Batman quote from Christian Bale. That's what I do that defines me kind of deal. Just never quote Dean Cain again if you could avoid it.
Well, I'm quoting Dean Cain only because the Lois and Clark was very Clark-centrist, which is why it's Lois and Clark, not Lois and Superman like the other movie with Tyler Hodgkin, right?
Did you know
the other show?
That the death of Superman came out of the fact that they wanted DC to tie in the wedding of Clark and Lois to the TV show, and they were like, fuck that. So they killed Superman.
Oh, really? So they killed him?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's so good. I don't think I knew that. But yeah, I know. We're getting off track. So I will say, going back to Supergirl.
Yeah.
Because you and I had this conversation multiple times. This assumption that that type of female character can't carry a movie is just bullshit. And it might not be, the iteration of it might not land, but it's not for lack of effort from the female lead. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's totally on the writing. I mean, like I said, I didn't think Craig Gillespie did a bad job directing either. I don't think, and actually from what I've read in interviews, I don't think the lady or the person that wrote the screenplay fully grasped the source material, because she did change the ending.
Right.
In the Woman of Tomorrow, she never kills Krem.
She never killed him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
So,
sorry, we already said it, but
sorry. Yeah, I mean, I figure at this point, people that have gone to see it have gone to see it, and the other people are going to wait for it to be on video, and fuck them. Yeah, that's how it goes. The other thing that I also like is where she was able to stay on Krypton longer. Well, a portion of Krypton.
Right, a portion, a chunk.
Yeah, I like how they make it like Clark was born, and then Jor-El was like, "You got to get the fuck out of here," and sent him on a capsule, and then Zor-El and his wife are like irresponsible, like, "Oh, the whole planet is blowing up, but let's have a baby." So they welcome her in, and honestly, I also like the fact that they don't say it, but there are plenty of hints to the fact that Kara is more powerful than Clark. And it's not because of like that whole male-female dynamic. It's not like, because he's a guy, he's got to be tougher. Because she lived on Krypton for so much longer, her cells are denser. Mm-hmm. And she also has that whole like rage that Clark, because he never knew and lost his parents.
Right. So, and that is where I find this iteration so much more intriguing, because the whole point of doing it this way is acknowledging like the actual trauma involved in being old enough to comprehend all the shit that happened, because Clark he had to learn about it after.
I think that Laura Vandervoot also kind of captured that pretty decently in Smallville for the little time that she was on there. She had a little bit of angsty attitude, mean girl kind of thing going on for her, too.
For sure.
But yeah, Melissa Benoist, and I mean, obviously, Helen Slater is kind of like the epitome. Helen Slater really does bring it to the most overall comic book accurate Supergirl at that time.
Sure.
She really
specifically at that time, for sure.
Well, the look, and I mean, she was definitely more this Supergirl than any of the other ones,
for sure. And that's and to be honest, during that time, that was the most beneficial. It was like she was just as bright and blue as Clark was,
and it matched the Christopher Reeve Superman,
right? Because it came out in '84, right?
Yeah.
No, and that's 100% true. And I think the irony of all of these people having issue with it, and hey, I'm not going to say just because it was a Supergirl movie it was good. I thought like there certainly were things that could have been better.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Overall,
but any movie you leave going...
No, but just like you said, this was not... It almost wasn't even a standalone movie. It was just, hey, this is what Supergirl was doing while all the Superman stuff was happening, and this is why she is the way she is. Now we're going to get into the Superman story that has Supergirl in it. That feels like... And the runtime was even short. It was only like an hour, 40 minutes. It wasn't even...
Yeah, it was quite quick.
Yeah, so it really does feel like a side quest type movie, which is, I think, what they were going for.
Yeah, and it brings her into the fold. It explains her relationship with Clark. I thought they did that wonderfully. Mm-hmm. And it brings in Momoa as Lobo, which he was a little stiff. I'm not going to lie, but I mean, obviously, you look at the character. And, I mean, he fucking is Lobo.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there is no... Actually, have a...
I can't think of an actor who would embody it better. But also, it's a new character for him, so, it'll take time for him to settle into the role and all that shit. Hold on. Slide it out a little. Yeah. There you go.
And then Guy Gardner.
And Guy Gardner. No, I know. And that's like Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. You know there's going to be an interaction between the two of them at some point.
Oh, there has to be. I mean, there was a lot of... I'm actually kind of hoping that he's putting all the pieces together for this iteration of the Justice League, the 1987 Bahaha, they call it. It's got fucking Blue Beetle, Batman, Martian Manhunter, and there's rumor that Martian Manhunter is going to be in the next one. In the Man of Steel is Gardner and that
Shazam,
dipshit Shazam, Dr. Fate, and that was actually the first introduction of Maxwell Lord.
Yeah,
but I think that they're leaning toward that because I've heard rumor that there is a casting of Martian Manhunter for the next movie.
That's cool.
So it only makes sense. But yeah, all Supergirl was meant to do is exactly what it did. I don't know why it pissed off so many people. A lot of the Snyder people that are in support of that, I feel like they were like the most offended, which is bizarre. But they're still butthurt over Superman, which actually just came out like a year ago, like a couple days ago.
Yeah,
and
yeah. But and that's the funny part is it's like I I think with the Snyder Bro situation, it's Superman was given characteristics that he was never meant to have in the true iteration of the character. I didn't mind them. I actually liked the exploration of, I wonder what it would be like if we did this. I thought Man of Steel was fantastic. But I fully acknowledge the fact that that is not the foundational essence of the character. It's too angsty, too dark. But it was an interesting kind of sidebar of, I wonder what it would be like if it was like this. I thought it was great. But now that that's kind of been established, and for so many people of that generation, it's their Superman, now this, like, brighter, quote-unquote, softer Superman has shown up, and they're all butthurt about it. And it's like, but this is what Superman actually is.
He's supposed to give you all... He's supposed to be full spectrum, like, perfect person. Like, everything about him is supposed to be, like...
Well,
cool.
he is quite literally the Christ character in comics.
Yeah,
he's the one who shows up to save everybody, and
it's in that line that Marlon Brando says, "They are great people, Kal-El, if they choose to be."
Right.
Oh,
if they wish to be. They're great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason, above all, I have sent them you, my only son.
And I'm also glad that they chose to go with another DC hero other than Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't like Wonder Woman. I need something more. You know, there's so much more out there.
Yeah,
so please, never do another Halle Berry Catwoman, please. Dear God.
I know. But really, too, I get how people are viewing a comic book franchise as I want this to stay comic booky. But let's be honest, comic book characters are drawn like Arnold Schwarzenegger from the 70s and Christina Brinkley from the 80s, right? It's like one is a bodybuilder and the other is an underwear model. Like, that's how they became in the comics. So now when real people are embodying these characters with real life challenges and issues and like, hey, let's delve into the darkness inside of us so we can be better people. Like, suddenly it's like, this isn't realistic. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? This is more realistic than the comics have ever been. And that's the point.
Did you notice that Clark Kent is wicked ripped? Almost like Superman?
Yeah, that's weird. It's just, I feel like James Gunn has figured out a way to take us back to the original comic feel with a modern, realistic take on how people would act as those characters.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is like all the things that they consider are called woke. I mean, there were things that were in storylines, you know, like that whole trafficking part of Supergirl. Yeah. That's part of it. The fucking shit typing monkeys in Superman.
I know.
I mean, that is totally something that would have been in the panel of a comic that Lex would have done. You know,
I mean, yeah,
it's bonkers how people get so butthurt over fake things.
What amazes me...
I much rather argue comics over anything else. Like, just because it's fake, you know? It's like, it doesn't really matter if
So
Superman...
it's all subjective, yeah.
Yeah. You know, the other thing I was telling Jana is, like, we have taken... I've taken for granted all these powers that he had, but I didn't... You don't realize until you go back and you look at it, like, it was all gradual. Like, the concepts of things. Like, the whole, like, hey, I think it's the Earth's yellow sun. That concept didn't appear until the 60s, and Superman came out in, like, 38?
38, yeah. So it was almost, what?
30 years, almost.
Well, like 25, certainly.
Yeah. But it's bonkers.
And now it's canon, and people are like, ah. But I heard that, too, about Supergirl. I think it's stupid that she has to go recharge herself from the yellow suns of the universe, and you know, like, do you not know the lore of the character? Like, if Superman stays away from a yellow sun for too long, he loses his powers. That's not
just
a
wait
weird
till they introduce
thing.
Bizarro and Blue Kryptonite.
Yeah, there you go.
People are going to lose their mind.
But really, I think kind of like touching on the female aspect of things too, because we had talked about this, how there's an assumption that if you're going to be a female superhero, if I don't want to fuck you, then what good are you? You know? Like, that's the underwear model thing. It's like, it's not about the character being a good character by a good actor who's recognizing the challenges and the struggles of that character. Does she look hot in a uniform? And will I want to fuck her on
I never
screen,
understood the fact that she was in a skirt. Like, why?
It was it was always misogyny, man. It was, I want to see a hot girl. No, I know,
but it's like practicality. Like, that's like nothing but upskirt shots. Like,
of course.
Every time she flies by.
Of course. Because nothing was thought of. She wasn't Supergirl because she was a powerful character. She was Supergirl because she was a woman and hot, and we get to say, oh, wouldn't it be awesome to sleep with Supergirl? Right? So it's...
And they put her in a Georgia Peaches outfit. How are we supposed to slide in these things?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. But yeah, totally. And that's the thing. It's like, this is the first iteration of the character that I know. I mean, I may be wrong, but that I'm aware of. That wasn't specifically created to be sexual.
Right.
Or at least, like, it was more about how can we make this a good character and show a good story versus how can we make her look as hot as possible. I'm not saying that Millie Alcott isn't an attractive woman, because she is. But the desire was about the character, not about making the character look fuckable, basically. You know?
Right. Yeah, like, again, if I so may say about the hundreds of inappropriate shots or angles that they used in Whedon's cut of the Justice League. Like, if you go back and you watch it, like,
I have to watch it again because I'm not as aware of that.
When you first see it, you're like, you don't notice it because it's, you know, and then you watch the new one and you go back and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, yeah, there's just some things. It's like it seems to be more of a focus. You know, it's bonkers. And maybe it was just something that was like seen because it was like, you know, at the time all those allegations were coming out. So then you go back and you rewatch it, and it's like,
and then you realize,
kind of slapping you in the face, you know.
Well, and dude, and not for nothing, but like, I will fully admit, like, who doesn't love a pair of titties bouncing in your face? Like, holy shit!
Yeah,
is
there's
that
a time and place for everything in this college?
Yeah, of course. Right. Yeah, and it's college. But at the same time, like, look at Power Girl, right?
Yeah.
Power Girl is Supergirl from a different universe. Yep. And her uniform is a leotard with the chest ripped out. So, like, there's no Supergirl emblem or anything. It's just a white uniform with only her cleavage showing. And hey, yes. as a dude, I'm not going to say I'm not like, holy crap, that's amazingly attractive. But what does it do for the character? Absolutely nothing. It's all about sex. And
yeah.
Again, is there a place for that? Sure. But when it's the only thing about a character, it's a very superficial character, right?
Yeah. When I was going through the comics and shit from like that I had as a kid and my dad had, there was a couple of Catwoman, like they had like redone Catwoman.
Yeah.
And it's like all these like over sexualized covers, and I'm like, as soon as I got to it, I'm like, I know why the old man got that lonely voice.
It wasn't about
like
the character.
Thought.
Yeah.
It was
no, it's
totally not.
It's like
I love Selena Kyle. She's like my favorite.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you read Playboys for the articles.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, and I guess I will, because I think we need to wind it down here, but
yeah, for sure.
We didn't get into this aspect of it as much because we had talked about it, but the fact that so many female characters are set up to basically just be sex symbols, right?
Yeah.
And if they're not a sex symbol, then you could give a shit about whatever they're saying. And again, I'm not saying Millie Alcock is not an attractive woman. What I'm saying is the casting and the follow-through of this iteration of the character is about the struggles of the character, not how she looks in the suit, how she, how hot she is, how, like...
Yeah. It's about her growing into her responsibility.
It's not a strict justification of a female superhero. Objectification. It's not a strict objectification of a female superhero like it is in many situations. It is an acknowledgement of a character who has had an amazingly traumatic experience and how she recovers from that while having the powers of Superman. And that is why it's compelling, because she is the version of Superman who didn't have the love, affection, and care of his Earth parents. And that's...
Well, it's not so much that the love, affection, and care, because, like, as you see, she had a good childhood with Zor-El and stuff. It was having that ripped away at such a young age.
No, and that is my point. It's the... And I agree. The nuance of that is certainly something, too.
And I'll say that that's like the one fault that I have with this new iteration of Superman is that both Ma and Pa Kent are still with us.
Still alive, yeah.
Yeah. I like the country bumpkin aspect of them because it does play into the way that Clark is. But yeah, there's something that was a major catalyst for him as
No, and
in
in the 78 Superman, they couldn't have said it any better, because that is the essence of the character, which is, it's the same with Spider-Man. Why, like, he was a performer until his uncle died, and then he became a crime fighter, right? It's the lesson learned about someone who takes their abilities for granted. And that catalyst for Superman was... And it was said so goddamn beautifully in the movie. All these things I can do, all these powers, and I couldn't even save him. Right? And it's the acknowledgement that no matter how much power you have as human beings, there are still some things we can't control, and we just have to do our best to manage them and be the best person that we can. And that's all superheroes are an extension of that philosophy, right? It is just taken to an extreme so that we can we can see these lessons and feel these emotions in an entertaining way. And I thought this version of Supergirl, because of that idea, that they nailed it. Was it done in the best way? Maybe not. It certainly didn't come across in the best way to a lot of people. But the goal of what they were trying to do, I think they accomplished. As you said,
yeah,
it was, let's go over here for a second so you understand where she came from and her angst and why she shows up the way she does as Supergirl. But that version of the character was only there for that movie. She's going to now be her version of Supergirl in subsequent films. And that's the
you just
point.
needed to establish the character.
Yeah, it was the transition from Kara Zor-El to Supergirl.
Mm-hmm. It'll be it's going to be interesting. And like I said, I mean, I'm now coming down the pipe because everyone is like saying that James Gunn is going to lose his job because he's making movies that are actually true to the characters and are decent. That I'm looking forward to fucking Lanterns.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if you saw the latest trailer for that, but man, it looks so goddamn good. And Clayface, holy shit! I've never been so excited for a movie about a villain in my life.
I will acknowledge the amazement I have of where they're taking this, because it's a part of the lore, but it also seems to be like a standalone, like solidly scary Halloween movie. You know?
Yeah. There's so they just released. They're starting like a comic series along with it.
Okay.
So it's called Clayface Celebrity Dirt. Nice. So they're like introducing the character and stuff. I think that's what they're doing. Either way, I got it. It's pretty good. Clayface is another one of my favorites. I don't know why. I actually have his return in the Copper Age. Wait, yeah, nice. Copper 70s. Because his first appearance is way too fucking expensive. But yeah, it's cool. I love what James Gunn is doing. This whole, I feel that I'm finally getting what I've wanted. So fuck everybody else. I feel like this is the closest I'm going to get to what Christopher Reeve really should have had.
Yeah.
You know, and
he did in the first and Donner cut of the second, but then the third and fourth were just...
he should have had so much more. He should not have been so fucked over.
And as always, it comes back to investment, money, ego, and all that bullshit. If it was genuinely about the character, it would have been so different.
Yeah, and I'm all for... I mean, I don't know if they need to have more standalone movies for Supergirl, but I'm all for it if they have a story.
Agree.
You know, that's the important thing.
If it serves the story and the character, absolutely.
But like I said, I mean, there's so much that they could do. There's like Crisis on Infinite Earths. I mean, there's so many different things. And hopefully, and James Gunn, I like, that's the one thing that I do like about him, is that he takes things that are like slightly more obscure. Like there are other things that he's bringing into the fold that not a lot of people are familiar with. Like when he did,
what, Guardians?
No, Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, yeah.
So that was all characters that were like kind of unknown, you know.
Well, it's and I think James Gunn is going about it the right way. But I also know that that's what DC was trying to do with copying Marvel, because they took Iron Man, who was not he became the foundational character of the Marvel Universe because of the Iron Man movie, because of Jon Favreau, because of Robert Downey Jr. When before he was still a peripheral character in the grand scheme of things. And Gunn has been very good at doing that, especially with like Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if I even heard of Guardians of the Galaxy before that movie came out.
It's true.
So,
right there
like the peripheral characters that he's been able to put in the spotlight and now to take on Superman and Supergirl and allow those worlds to have some of those peripheral characters, I think is super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, like using Guy Gardner as a Green Lantern, fucking Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific is a perfect example.
Yeah, Hawkgirl could go fuck herself. I don't care about Hawkman or Hawkgirl. I thought they were kind of dumb. In any iteration that I've seen, I've never really oh, they die and they come back?
And
they're lovers that can't find their way. Right?
And I'll leave it at this because
we got to wrap up.
We got to wrap up. We had talked about talking more deeply about this, but I think we can get there in another episode. But how you and I have discussed basically jumping on board with the matriarchy, like the fact that it's like, okay, guys have had their chance, they're continuing to fuck it up. Let's get some women in power and see what happens. And I think Supergirl, as the movie that it is a great kind of reflection of that, because like I was saying, it's not about her being a sex symbol. It's about her being a legitimate person in the world who has challenges and is doing her best to overcome them and leading in the way that she can and taking point and taking responsibility, and she's a solid character.
Yeah. And the difference between her and I, she can fly and shoot shit out of her eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just a normal person, and I like that iteration. Like that again. I mean, another, not to go back to Superman, but that's like the other iteration that I like is the TV episode of fucking Superman and Lois, right?
Yep.
Where it's all real world shit. Because like we know he can burn shit, he can freeze shit with his mouth, all this other happy hush shit. But can he be a dad? You know,
right? Can he have a sex talk with his budding child? Right. That's a whole different set of skills. And
to show her struggling with all this stuff, and I thought it was just a fantastic flick, and I think everybody should at least see it once. I mean, they don't have to love it, but it's definitely not as bad as
not at all
they're giving it shit for.
And I think I'll say this as my last thing. Right. If you take away the Supergirl aspect, I say that a lot. If you take away the Supergirl aspect of things and just look at it as a character piece, right? She lost everything. She's trying to cope. She has found ways to cope. Right. And she ends up being called to protect somebody else reluctantly. Yeah. And in doing so, she found the better parts of herself. That's a fantastic hero's journey, regardless of what the packaging is. But it's so much better for me as a comic book fan, Superman fan especially, that it's Supergirl. So I don't know what everyone's bitching about.
They just like to complain.
Of course.
You know, the toughest thing I think that girl has to deal with is that her fucking cousin's a nerd.
She is so much cooler than he is. Yeah. For sure.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that stuff like that she says, like, my cousin sees the good in people and I see the truth.
I see the truth, yeah.
So, I like that she's not as jaded, I suppose, as Clark would be.
Yeah, she's more of a realist, but also just not even that. Just she's more jaded because she's had real-world experience, as you said, that was taken away from her, whereas Earth is the only thing Clark's ever known. And that's a great way to juxtapose the characters with the same abilities from different perspectives and experiences. And I hope that was an inkling of the thought when she was created versus just like, oh, let's have a female version of Superman. Like, how about a totally different perspective?
You know what makes this character great? Tits.
Yeah.
I swear to God, he's like always one of those kind of guys in a pitch room.
I was going to say it, not for nothing. I feel like a lot of comic book characters were created for specifically that reason.
Yeah. You know what makes this great? Boobs.
Yeah,
like
boobs.
I've been working on a joke
boobs
about
make everything
Grimace.
better. They really just do. Yeah.
Right? Why Grimace looks like a butt plug, and then they name him after the face you make upon insertion. Like, you know, the guy in that boardroom, they got a good laugh, and then that motherfucker got a raise.
Yeah.
And let's see how long it'll take them to put it together.
That's so good. Yeah, you should totally.
It's like a hidden adult joke in a Muppet movie that you laugh at because your parents are laughing at, but then
but you don't know why they're laughing. Yeah. That's fantastic. And on that note, we cue the music.
You guys have a great one. We'll see you.
Yes,
the next
we
time
will
we
be
record,
back around
that may be
more often. I know we've been MIA, but we're back to it, fellas.
We promise we're going to get better at this.
Yep.
So take care, and until next time, I'm Pete.
Peace.
And that's Chris. Hey, fellas, don't forget to check out our socials. We're on TikTok at Dads Unfiltered. If you don't TikTok, we have our Dads Unfiltered Facebook page. If you don't use Facebook, then there's always good old-fashioned email, 2dadsunfiltered@gmail.com. That's the number 2, dadsunfiltered@gmail.com. And coming soon, Dad's Unfiltered YouTube channel. Also, check out Chris's emotion coaching content at dadding_daily on TikTok, at Chris O'Neill Coach on Instagram, and at Chris O'Neill on YouTube. You can find the links below in our podcast description.